Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about non-physical entities and are they real? Can they hurt you? In my previous video I talked about going to the techno clubs and music festivals, and this topic is somewhat related to that because on these festivals a lot of people are on drugs and they open up energetically in many ways, and this is a great opportunity for such entities to attach to you. So I want to talk about them in this video, mostly about those negative entities. There are also positive, and I will maybe talk about it in another video. So the first question is, are they real? Because there are two schools of thought that they are either some kind of manifestation of your fears or your thoughts, and it's just purely mind-made. And the people especially experience that either in advanced meditation or when they are on drugs, especially psychedelic drugs, but not exclusively. Or they are actually entities that live somewhere in other realms and they don't have a physical body, but they can somehow influence you. So the $1,000,000 question is, which one is it? Are they real or they are mind-made? I think it can be both, but in my experience, and I have quite a bit experience with these entities, both within myself in the past and also helping other people detach those entities. The way I see it is that they actually exist. And again, there are also positive entities, but now I'll talk about negative entities and how they work. So these entities, they can attach to you and influence you, but they cannot really possess you. You are a sovereign being, a sovereign soul, and they can only do as much harm to you and manipulate you as much as you allow them. And in a way, it's a very similar to, imagine this scenario that you are working maybe a corporate job and your manager is a manipulative asshole, really, right? And he doesn't really kidnap you. He can't really, force you to behave specific way. But if your boss is manipulative and he knows how to do it, he can easily press your buttons. For example, he may be aware of your goals, your ambitions, your fears, your anxieties, your weak spots. And a good manipulator knows how to spot these and how to press these buttons to make you do what you maybe wouldn't necessarily do. Maybe, they press your buttons about self-worth or fear of losing the job or some weakness like need for validation and acceptance and approval, and they will play you like a guitar. And those non-physical entities, they operate in the same way, and for them it's very easy because from other realms they see your energy, they can read you like an open book, so your buttons are very visible to them. So what these entities do is that, especially if you're more energetically open, either because you are naturally more empathetic, or you have been in spiritual path for many years, then you become a target. And because they can see your energies and kind of sense your thoughts and patterns and weaknesses, they kind of attach to these weaknesses and fuel them, energize them. So for example, there's a weak spot about, maybe, let's say you're in a relationship and you have some insecurities about trust or being loved. And these entities will address that, kind of put their energy into these beliefs, and your mind and body will be suddenly, you will feel those on overdrive. And sometimes you can feel like weird thoughts. Many people I have worked with, they say things like, sometimes it's like as if something possessed me, like I can't believe these were my thoughts, or I felt that way. And yeah, in many cases, it's actually an entity that is trying to manipulate you. Why they do this, that's a long story. Some of them do it for fun, and some of them do it because there is this weird hierarchy among those negatively oriented beings, entities, that is pretty similar like in our world, right? If you look at our world, then you see that you can either build, well, to have some kind of power, to have some kind of potential for getting things done, like let's say building a city or managing a city. There are two ways to go about it, right? Love-based or fear-based. And love-based is power with other people, cooperation. And fear-based is power over people. It's manipulation, control, hierarchy. And, as above, so below. So these entities, negative entities, they also try to kind of recruit you into their hierarchy and put you below them. Because think about it, as a singular being, you have very limited, let's call it power, right? If you want people to build a pyramid for you, for example, then you will need a lot of workforce, and it's not cheap. So one way to go about it is to create hierarchy based on power, have people below you, and these people have people below them, and so on, so on. And in this way, you create this pyramid of power, and that's how you can accumulate power. Like, you cannot build a pyramid by yourself on your own, right? You need a lot of power, so you need to manipulate other people, usually fear-based, right? With all kinds of tactics, so someone will do it for you. That's how you get power on the negative path. And this is why negative entities also try to attack you. Now, if you consider yourself that you are a target, or you have experienced that, and maybe you are interested in working with that, then let me know. Let me know if you want to explore this topic further, share your experiences, your thoughts. Yes, and let me collect my thoughts, because there is something else I wanted to mention briefly. Yes. What I wanted to mention is that who is the target for these entities? Potentially everyone. But I have noticed something interesting, and they usually attack, they are either like to go for a weak prey or a juicy prey. Kind of like a predator animals, right? On one hand, it's nice to have easy prey. And on another hand, sometimes you want the juicy prey. And what comes to mind is, if you are familiar with Star Wars, you have the light side and the dark side, right? And Sith, they kind of operate like that. You see, Star Wars contains so many archetypes, and I think that's one of the reasons why it resonates with so many people, because even though it's a very metaphorical, archetypical story, there's a lot of hidden truth in there. And this light side and dark side is a representation of a potential of spiritual development of souls. You can either go love-based way or fear-based way. And yes, I know Jedi were not perfect either, but that's a different story. Maybe I'll record a video on Star Wars soon. So think about Sith Lords. On one hand, like Palpatine, right? On one hand, he wants to have juicy prey, like Vader or Darth Maul, but also he needs a lot of weak prey, like the troopers and so on, to execute orders, and so on. And negative entities are in the same way. So potentially everyone is under a threat under the risk of being attacked, approached by these entities, but they usually tend to attack either people who are very in the low vibration, in a lot of fear, in a miserable state, or a lot of anxiousness, and that's also why they love to they look for their praise in techno clubs and festivals where people take drugs, because they open up energetically, and many people go there to these clubs to, just get some relief. They have been overloaded with, stressed with life, and they just want to let loose, relax, and take some drugs or whatever, and forget about the world with all the music and so on. And also, they want these entities to grab a juicy prey. So someone who is, let's say, pretty high vibration, really evolved spiritually. It's a more difficult prey, much more difficult prey, but much more juicy. Exactly like Sith Lords in Star Wars. So let me know what you think about this whole topic. Let me know if you want to explore it further. And thanks for watching.